Grandma pizza is famous for cheese on the bottom and sauce on top. It's baked in a square pan until golden brown and crispy, so it's one of the best pizza recipes you can make at home. Let's get started. So this is 3 1/4 cup of bread flour. And to that, I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 packet of dry yeast. And we're gonna give that a quick mix. And generally for yeast, the more time you're gonna let the dough rest, the less you need. But since I'm gonna make and cook the dough in the same day, I'm using the whole packet, which is a little over 2 teaspoons. Now we can pour in the water, and this is 1 1/4 cup of warm water. And we're just gonna slowly mix that together until it starts to form a dough. Making sure to scrape down the sides so no flour gets stuck on the sides. And it will just take a couple minutes of mixing for the water to hydrate the flour, but just keep going and eventually it will form a rough dough. Okay, so as you can see, a dough ball has started to form. So now I'm gonna add in the olive oil, and we're gonna start with 1.5 tablespoons. And you want to mix in the oil after the water because obviously oil and water do not mix well together. So that can kind of compete when you're trying to hydrate the flour. So it's best to add the water first and then the oil. And just keep mixing until the oil is incorporated. All right, so at this point, the wooden spoon has done its job. So now we're gonna switch to our hands and start the kneading process. And since we just added the oil, it shouldn't stick to your hands. And we're just gonna keep on folding it over itself. And in about 5 minutes, it should form a nice, smooth, and elastic ball. So as you can see, I'm basically just continuously folding the dough on top of itself, giving it a turn every few folds, and pushing down towards the side of the bowl for the whole kneading process. It's also easiest and cleanest if you knead the dough inside of the bowl. If you knead the dough on your countertop, you're probably gonna end up needing to add more flour because it's gonna stick, and that could change the recipe and the consistency of the dough. So I just find it easy to do it inside the bowl. Okay, so we've been kneading for about 5 to 7 minutes, and you know it's ready when it's super smooth, soft, and elastic, just like it is here. So now I am just gonna take it out of the bowl, and we're gonna form it into a nice even ball. For this part, you need both hands, so it's just a little bit easier to do it on the countertop, but at this point, the dough isn't gonna stick at all to the counter. So you're kind of just shaping it up into a circle, running your hands underneath the dough. Now, since the grandma pizza is a square pizza, I like to rest the dough in a square or rectangle container. That'll make it a lot easier to stretch out in the pan later on. So here, I'm just gonna grease the container with about 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil, and then just coat the dough in that. Okay, so now we're gonna cover it with plastic wrap and then put it in the fridge and let it rest for at least 4 hours. And you can do it for up to 24 hours. The longer it rests, the more flavor from the fermentation it's gonna have. But you know, it's really all preference. So try one recipe with making it the same day, and then you can try it again with letting it rest overnight and then see what you like better. So the dough is in the fridge for 4 hours. I took it out of the fridge about an hour ago. So it's been resting for a total of 5. And as you can see, it's about doubled in size. And before we add it to the sheet pan, we need to grease it. So I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, which is really gonna help fry the bottom of the crust. And I'm using a Lloyd sheet pan. It's 12 by 18 inches. And it's the exact pan that's designed for this kind of pizza. The dark metal is gonna help give it a dark crust. And then it's just easiest to spread it in with your hands. Make sure to get the sides as well. Okay, pan's all greased up. Now it's time to transfer the dough into the pan. So just kind of grab it and lay it in to fit the shape of the pan. And now with your fingers, you can just gently start pressing it out to fit the length of the pan, but you don't have to worry about it too much right now because we're gonna let it rest for at least another half hour, and then it's gonna be a lot easier to stretch out in a little bit more time. But for now, just roughly fit it into the rectangle. Okay, so it's stretching out very nicely. We were able to get it about 75% of the way there. And now we're just gonna let it rest for another 45 minutes or so, and then we'll finish the stretching after that. We're just gonna cover it with plastic wrap again. And while it rests for another 45 minutes or so, this is the perfect time to cook your sauce. To start the sauce, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil to this pan on medium-low heat. And now I'm gonna add 3 cloves of sliced garlic. Now, a grandma pie is known for a couple things, one being a lot of garlic and also a thick tomato sauce. Sometimes people will add raw garlic directly to the pizza before putting it in the oven, but I prefer frying it in the olive oil first and adding it to the sauce for maximum flavor. So it's gonna let that cook for about a minute until it gets lightly golden brown. Now I'm gonna add 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes directly to the pan. And then also about a half teaspoon of salt. So just mixing that in. And often with the grandma pizza, people will add raw whole canned tomatoes directly from the can to the pizza, but I prefer cooking it. It helps remove all the moisture from the tomatoes and it makes a thicker, more flavorful sauce. Okay, now that it's started to simmer, I'm gonna turn the heat all the way down to low. And we're just gonna stir it occasionally and probably cook it for about 30 minutes. Okay, and the only other thing to do while the sauce cooks is to grate the cheese. So this is a 16-ounce block of low-moisture mozzarella. So just gonna grate it on a coarse grater. And this is a chunk of Pecorino Romano, which is also common to add a little bit to the grandma pizza. Okay, so that's about 12 out of the 16 ounces of cheese. And I think that's all we're gonna need. And this is also the perfect time to preheat your oven to 475 degrees. Okay, now that the dough has rested for another 45 minutes, we're gonna finish spreading it out in the pan. And it's pretty easy at this point to extend the dough into the entire pan, making sure that it's in the corners. And then once that's done, we can kind of start defining the crust. So just pressing right beneath the edge of the pan to form the crust, going all the way around. Okay, now that the dough is all spread out, we can do a nice even layer of the mozzarella. And the classic look of the grandma pie is always cheese on the bottom and sauce on top. Okay, so we got a nice even layer of the cheese, and we probably used about 10 or 11 ounces of it total. And we're also gonna do a light grating of the pecorino. Just a little bit. And then we're gonna also add a little bit more after it comes out of the oven. But probably not even an ounce right now. The pecorino will just help give it a lot of flavor because all we're doing is sauce and cheese. Okay, time to add the sauce. Now I've measured out 1.5 cups of the cooked sauce. We're not gonna add all of this, but it's just a good way to measure exactly how much I'm using for the recipe. And classic technique for the grandma is just to kind of dollop the sauce all over. All right, I might have lied. We're actually probably gonna use all of that. So that's exactly 1.5 cups of the sauce, which is just enough. And just finish with a light drizzling of olive oil over the crust. Okay, now it's very important to put it in the bottom third of the oven. That'll give the bottom of the crust the best chance of getting golden brown. And then we're gonna set the timer for 15 minutes and check it then. And we'll see if it needs more time after that, which it might. Okay, that's 15 minutes, so we'll give it a check. All right, it's definitely getting there. It's still a little light on top, so I'm just gonna flip it around. That way it will cook evenly, and I'm probably gonna add another 3 more minutes. All right, that's another 3 minutes, and now it's looking perfect. All right, that's a classic looking grandma pie, and it's cooled off for a minute, but it pops right out of this Lloyd pan. And give it a sneak peek on the bottom. Nice golden brown, a little bit charred in some spots. Looks pretty good. All right, place it on the rack so it can cool and remain crispy. As promised, a little more pecorino over the top to finish it off. Go ahead, cut it up into squares. There you go, guys. Super simple, just cheese and tomato, but very flavorful. And of course, crispy bottom, can't go wrong. Thank you for watching.